Alright guys, so all fueled up, got some food in the truck. I'm on my way to Nebraska for the muzzleloader season there. There won't be a Wisconsin muzzleloader video. That ended about as good as gun season did, so yeah, hopefully Nebraska goes better. We got about 10-hour drive or more. I'm gonna try and sleep somewhere in South Dakota, then get into Nebraska in the morning and try and get to my hunting spot and get after some deer. Well, I've been on the road for about 8 hours, so pretty tired. It's like 12:30 in the morning. Got 2 hours left to go. Gonna crawl in the back of the truck here, take a nap. Hopefully wake up about 4, get going again. Morning everybody. I'm in Nebraska. Just checking out, trying to get to a piece of public right now, and this private land on the way is loaded with whitetails. They are everywhere. I've already seen 2 bucks and probably 20 does. They're just running all over out here. So I'm gonna keep going and try and get down and check out the public part of it, but this looks like a really good spot to get started. $3. One out front's pretty nice. 2 behind him are just little guys. So you see a stud of a buck for Nebraska, whitetail. He's I would say a big 6 for sure, if not an 8. I don't know. I think his brow tines were missing, but I couldn't tell how many tines he actually had. But big tall frame, one of the nicer whitetails I've ever seen in Nebraska. But there's just so many deer in this neighborhood, like I can't not go and try and still hunt in this piece for a little bit. Perspective, I'm in the parking lot. And the video of that buck is right on that hill. So they are not far away. So I'm super stoked to be back out west. I initially bought this tag to get a mule deer, or a chance at one, and then they restricted it so much on where you can shoot one. That's the reason why I'm kind of in this area, but now that I found these whitetails, it's too good of an opportunity to drive past, so we gotta at least check it out. And then I want to look at some mule deer stuff later today. It's going to be like 40 or 50 mile an hour winds tomorrow potentially, but today's going to maybe break a record as far as temperature for heat wise, so it's going to be close to 70. So I'm just going to pound ground on foot, try and push something up and start blasting. I mean, is that not a view? It's amazing. So I left that first piece. Seemed like those deer were staying pretty close to that private. The further I got back in there on that piece, the less deer sign there was. And the timber on that thing was so thick you'd have to crawl through it, so it's kind of hard to set up a game plan or even scout when you can't even walk through something. So I just got it marked. I'm at my second piece here, starting to run into a bunch more guys. Unfortunately, thought that maybe this shit that's out in the middle of nowhere would have nobody on it, but this is where the most people are. So I'm just gonna walk out some tree lines, glass down in those hills further, and keep on moving. So it does exist. Found this spot on the map, seen these trees. I mean, they're way out here in this piece. You can't see any of this from the road. So I'm hoping the guy that drove his truck back in here, that shouldn't be, pushed out all the other pieces like closer to where you can drive back in there and miss this. Hoping to jump some deer out of here. Oh, you guys are never gonna believe this. So I walk, I don't know, must be a couple miles back into the middle of nowhere here to this timber. No deer sign anywhere. Starting to think I'm not gonna see a deer. And all of a sudden they start just getting up in there. And I had the wind advantage. So one of them must have saw me instead. They all took off out the backside. I run around. The buck and the doe are just over the fence on private. Oh my god. Easily could have shot. He was bigger than the one I got last year, but not as big as I'd like, but I would like to just get the tag filled. Anyways, so they ran over the hill in front of me. They're still on private. They're going to private. So I'm gonna walk around this fence and try and see if I can get any visual on them, or see if they cross over into those cedars on the public. Those deer were all in here and they spit out the back here. Then they went up over the hill. Gone. Well, I'm not having a good day. So I thought all the deer were blown out of this thing. Come around the other corner. 6 more deer take off with a big whitetail buck. Are you kidding me? I need a beer. They're still on private, but they're working towards the, or sorry, they're still on public, but working to private. I'm going that way. Oh, we're not out of the game yet. The first buck in like 4 does, or yeah, 4 does. Pretty sure they're on private for sure. Can't go after them. The bigger buck, when I last seen him, he was still in the public. going over this hill that I'm going to. I can go for a little ways that direction, so hopefully, I'm hoping that he tries cutting right. Let's stay on this piece and get a crack at him. Otherwise, he's got to go a long ways left to another chunk of timber like what I just went through to try and do it all over again. So that's the last hill I've seen that buck on the doe. And this road that I walked in on, if you can kind of see here, there's some tracks in the sand. I'm gonna go with that they're his because there was nothing when I came in. So we're gonna follow these for a little while. Try and catch up to this bad boy. Well, I lost all those deer out there in the sand hills. That big one and that doe ended up jumping the fence off the road and kind of going straight and a little to the left, so not quite sure where they went. I can't glass them up anywhere. I mean, it's wide open out there. So they must have got way in front of me, but I'm gonna hop in the truck, drive back around the block. There's another chunk of timber way back in on another piece that is kind of the same, but it looks like there's a lot more down trees that are dead and fallen over on the map on that one, so that's why I skipped it to begin with. But whew, a lot of miles, lots of excitement, all to come back with no deer, but it's all about the experience, right? So tonight I just been out here glassing. I didn't end up walking at other woods either, or little pocket. I wanted to save that, keep that for another day because it's supposed to be super windy. I think them deer will go and hide in there if I don't mess with it. So I've been checking out some spots where I used to come and try and hunt, and haven't had any luck glassing up any deer. Population must be down in this area. I did just stop the truck and had a nice whitetail take off out of the marsh. He wasn't waiting around to figure out what I was up to. I didn't see him until he took off, so I just stopped to glass the sand hills. So there's one deer in here.